Hi, good day, everyone. Good morning, grand rising. So I felt compelled to come on here to talk about something, and it's something that God, Spirit, the Divine had told me to say to someone recently, and I did not. Sometimes that resistance and disobedience, we don't follow what we're told to do, right? What I wanted to talk about is the other morning I got up and this particular person was on my mind, and it was something about childhood trauma, and the things that happened in our past that holds us back. And so, this is what I felt like I was given the message. It said, when we hold on to our pain and trauma from our past, it prevents us from truly showing up in love. We use those traumas as a shield or barricade that essentially blocks us from stepping into our highest potential. That trauma cripple us and keep us in a state of fear. Fear of rejection, fear that history will repeat itself, and fear of being hurt. Those fears essentially sabotages true potential of love and self-actualization. We become prisoners of our past traumas, repeating a cycle of lack and never stepping into our highest potential of love. My dear, childhood trauma from our parents is one of the deepest wounds. However, we cannot let that stop us and keep us from living and loving the way we should. When we release the past, forgive our offenders, it frees us from our mental chains. In doing so, you allow the highest form of love to enter, propelling you forward to your higher timeline and closer to your higher consciousness. With a higher frequency, you'll now be able to manifest easily and call in the desires of your heart. The life you imagine, the love you seek, will appear and blossom. And so, yeah, I wrote that, and I said, I'm not sending that. Because sometimes a lot of people are skeptical about spirituality. They believe in the rigid system that we were, you know, taught growing up, and that's what they hold on to. However, I don't know who this is for or who this is to help, but whatever that happened to you as a child, as an adult, you have to learn how to release those pains. You have to learn how to deal with those shadows, because it will hold you back from becoming the version of you where you have a fulfilled life, you're manifesting your desires of your heart, and how you show up in society, basically. Most times we feel like forgiveness is going to benefit that person. It's not about that person. It is about you. It's about you not walking around with that resentment, with that hate, with that pain. Oh, I didn't even get my chair. I'm sorry, I'm on the soccer. Because when you walk around with all of that heavy load, it not only affects you psychologically, it also affects you physically. This is where we have these chronic diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes. It's that chronic stress, right? That inflammation in your body, that lack of sleep, that always on guard. This journey in a life in itself, we're always learning, we're always evolving and changing. We cannot be stuck in old, antiquated paradigms based on what we were told growing up. Again, I said this in another video, we're in the age of knowledge. Sometimes we got to just let go and let God, the divine, lead you in the direction you should go. So if you find yourself always meeting people and in relationships in particular, and you're constantly getting the same patterns of behavior, the same you're being triggered in a certain way that reminds you of your childhood, it's because you haven't healed. It's because there's still a lesson to be learned that you refuse. You refuse to learn or change or look at it from a different perspective. So, happy Sunday, y'all. Just remember, forgiveness is not for the other person. And you say, how can I forget? I can't forget because I'm will always remember. Is when it doesn't have power over you. Like, yes, I acknowledge this person did this and I'm hurt from it. Here is how this hurt has me operate. Now I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go intentionally. And that's where the healing process starts. All right. Have a wonderful Sunday.